Hi guys, welcome to the video 3 on how to read a clock series. So in this video we're going to talk about minute hands, okay, and how to read the minute hand of a clock. So in the last video what we talked about, in the video before this one, we talked about the hour hand. So that's the short little hand, and this video we're going to talk about the minute hand. That's the kind of nice big long hand of the clock. So you may ask yourself, what's the difference between these two hands? And that would be a really good question. So in the last video we talked about the hour hand, and we talked about how long it takes to go around a clock. The hour hand moves really slow, and so it goes all the way around the clock like that, tick 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 tick, and it takes, do you guys remember how long it takes to go around the clock? Yeah, that's right, it takes 12 hours. Okay, the minute hand also goes around the clock in the same direction. Tick 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 tick. But it does so much faster than the hour hand. So it actually goes around the clock much faster, and it goes around the clock in 1 hour. So where the long hand takes 12 hours, the short hand takes 12 hours. The long hand, the minute hand, only takes 1 hour to go all the way around the clock. Now in the first video what we talked about is how many minutes in 1 hour. So let me get my pen back again. 1 hour. Do you guys remember how many minutes were in 1 hour? That's right, it was 60 minutes. So let's use this information now to try to read the clock. Okay, so as I said just before, the minute hand takes 1 hour to go all the way around the outside, and we know that 1 hour is the same as 60 minutes, and so what it is it takes 60 minutes. You can also say that it takes 1 hour or 60 minutes to go round the clock. And so what they've done with most clocks to actually help us out with this is that they've actually broken the clock down into 60 minutes. So it actually marks out each minute along the clock, and the marks that I'm talking about here are these little marks just here. See, do you see how they got little dashes? What it means is that when it's pointing to one of these dashes, the minute hand is pointing to one of these dashes, that means it's 1 minute. So while it doesn't have it written on the clock, which is the kind of tricky thing about the minute hands, is it doesn't actually have the number of minutes written on there. Instead it just has these little dashes to tell us how many minutes have gone by. So what I'm going to do, just to start off with, I'm going to write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because don't forget you have to actually include these dashes as well. So even though it's got the 1 next to it, that still counts as 1 minute. 6, I'm going to write the numbers. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I hope you guys can see this and that it's not too small for you on your screens. Sorry about the little jump there. I just want to get rid of some of the information on the clock, just so it's a bit easier to read. So what it is, I'm just going to draw in the hour hand now. Just if it'll let me draw the hour hand in, let's draw the hour hand in. There we go. So little hour hand, and I'm going to draw the minute hand in as well. Okay, so let's just go over the information that we know so far. So the hour hand, we know that we can actually look at where the hour hand's pointing, so it's pointing in this direction, and so we know it's gone past the 3, so we actually know that it is 3 o'clock. Okay, now let's look at the minute hand and actually read the minutes and the number of minutes. And so what we do is we start counting from the 12, so you can also consider the 12 as 0. Okay, so we know if we look, where is it kind of leading to? I'd say it's kind of leading towards the 3, or what I've written on the 3, so we can look at the marks. So we can count 1, 2, 3. And so we actually know that it is 3 minutes past 3 o'clock. Okay? So we can do this any time that we want to read it, okay? And so we can, if I just draw another minute hand in here, for example, let's just test out our knowledge. And so we can count. We can go, alright, so it's pointing to, let's say it's pointing around to this mark just here. And so we can count the number of marks. We can say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, that means it's 7 minutes past 3 o'clock. Now, the tricky thing comes with these little marks, and that there's no numbers written for the minutes on the hand, is that say if it's pointing all the way over here, the minute hand, what we don't want to do, we don't want to have to sit there and go, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and count all the way around to here, because it would take us forever to do that. So there is an alternative, and that's when in the first video I said what you really need to know is you need to know your 5 times tables, because knowing your 5 times tables is going to help a lot when it comes to reading a clock. So let me just pull up a times table sheet. Alright, and here we go. There's our times tables. So I hope you guys can see this. If not, maybe bring it up into full screen so you can see everything. So going over our 5 times tables, we have 1 times 5, so 1 times 5 is 5. 2 times 5 is 10. 3 times 5 is 15. 4 times 5 is 20. 5 times 5 is 25. 6 times 5 is 30. 7 times 5 is 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60. So what we can actually do, now using our times tables, rather than count the little dashes all the way around, what we can actually do is, I'm just going to use my mind's eye, is instead of the 1, right, we know that what you can do is you can say 1, so 1 times 5 is, oh, I'm using the wrong pen, 1 times 5 is 5. 2 times 5 is 10. So the reason why we're multiplying them by 5 is that we know here that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dashes. So between the 12 and the 1, there's 5 dashes. Now let's check to see between the 1 and the 2. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's another 5 dashes between here. And so we know that then that's 5, and if we add 5 plus 5 is 10, then we add again 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. So what I'm doing is I'm now just going around this whole video, around this whole clock, and I'm just writing. I don't have enough room there, so I'm going to write just in here. I can't write. 45, 50, 55, and 60. So at the 60 mark, it also means 0, because as soon as we hit there, we know a whole 1 hour's gone past, and we start again, and we go all the way around. Okay, so now using this, what we can actually do is it makes it much, much faster to read the clock. So before, I said, oh, what's the... So if it's pointing over here, I can count. I can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, blah, 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 and it'll take a really long time. But instead, what we can actually do is that I'll look at the 9 here, and I say, oh, okay, well, the hand's pointing there, so I'll look to this one, and I say, oh, what's 9? And then I go, oh, what I can do is 9, so I can go 9 times 5, because I know there's 9 lots of 5 all around, way around, and I'll go 9 by 5, oh, that's 45. And so I've already written it in here, so we know that's 45 minutes. And so then I can look past there and I'll say, oh, it's pointing towards this little mark here. So it's 45 plus another 2 marks. So that means 45, 46, 47. So if I'm using this hour hand and this minute hand, I know that it's pointing past the tree, so I say it's 3 o'clock, and it is 47 minutes, because it's 45, 46, 47. So the time there would be 3:47. I hope you guys are getting this so far, and then I haven't jumped ahead too much for you. So I'm just going to pause the video for a second, and I'm just going to delete some information. Okay, here's a clean clock, and so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to draw some minute hands on here, and we're going to figure out together how many minutes past the hour it is. Okay, so this is the first one. So we can, as I said before, we can count the minutes and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, etc., etc., etc. But instead, what I'm going to do, I'm going to look at it and I say, oh, look, it's heading towards that mark there. And they say, oh, so what's 2 times 5? 2 times 5 is 10. And so I can go, oh, it's 10 plus 1, that's 11. So I know it's actually, this means that is 11 minutes past the hour. Now let's try another one here. Let's go there. I'll draw one out there. I know that's, even though it's pointing between the two, I'm going to pretend it's pointing here. Alright, so now so what time do you think it is the minute hand's pointing to? We look at here, 6, and we go, oh, 6 times 5, that's 30. And plus 1 plus 2, so 31, 32. It's 32 minutes past the hour. Let's try one more. Alright, and I'm going to point it towards, it's pointing towards this marker here. How many minutes past the hour do you think it is? I'm going to give you a couple seconds to figure it out. Alright, so it's past the 9. And so we know 9 times by 5 is 45. So it's 45, 46, 47, 48, 49. So it's 49 minutes past the hour. So what it is I hope that this has kind of helped you out, and so you've learned now how to read the hour hands and the minute hands. Come ask the teacher for a worksheet, and what it is, we'll give you a worksheet, and so that'll have a whole bunch of, a whole bunch of clocks like this with the times around the outside. 12, 1, 2, 3, and so with it some minute hands and some hour hands, and we'll get you to write down what the time is here. So for this one it'd be 3 o'clock. But we'll give you some more worksheets, okay? If you have any questions as well, please let us know, and we're happy to help out. So there'll be one more video after this one, and in that video we're going to be talking about the language that we use when we talk about clocks, and that will be the last video in how to read a clock series. So I hope this is helping you out, and we'll see you soon. Bye.